HowExpert! Top 10 Lo-Fi Hip-Hop Production Tips. HowExpert publishes quick how-to guides on all topics from A to Z by everyday experts. Visit HowExpert.com to learn more. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more HowExpert Top 10 videos in the future. Moving on, let's talk about the HowExpert Top 10 Lo-Fi Hip-Hop Production Tips. Number 10. Invest in good equipment. I'm not saying you should spend a minimum of $1,000 before you even think of opening a DAW. At the same time, using those cheap $10 gas station earbuds or even those Apple AirPods won't give you the full range of instruments and elements in a song. If you're planning on taking any kind of music making seriously, invest in good equipment. You can do this incrementally. A set of speakers here, an audio interface a month later, a USB keyboard, and so on. Number 9. Study your favorite tracks. In my second year of making music, I took it upon myself to recreate a few tracks of a favorite lo-fi producer of mine. You may think it's better to create your own sound and develop it, which often it is. That said, diving into a track can help you identify the elements that make that track popular. Go back and listen to your favorite lo-fi tracks, and take note of the elements that make it enjoyable for you. Maybe the kick pattern pops through the track, or the hi-hats have a crazy swing. One of my favorite tracks is my favorite specifically because it perfectly uses 3 different snare drums. You get the idea. Number 8. Utilize the YouTube algorithm to find samples. We live in 2020, where sample searching is as simple as hopping on YouTube and typing anime samples in the search bar. That aside, there are channels on YouTube that are curated specifically for people to sample from. Simple searches such as jazz piano or piano sample will point you in the right direction. Over time, YouTube begins suggesting these to you, both old and new videos. Additionally, you can subscribe to never be left out of the loop. Ideally, finding new samples to experiment with is as easy as opening the YouTube tab. Number 7. Be experimental. At the lowest level, all lo-fi music sounds the same. They all feature anime samples, rain, some declaration of love or sadness, and overly descriptive names. Although people have seen success from that specific niche of lo-fi in the past, the result of it is an abundance of the same sound from people who want the same level of success. The reality is, if you want to stand out, you have to differentiate yourself from the pack and be experimental. Play around with your tracks and develop the same unique elements that allowed other people to stand out. Maybe your thing is creating snares using stuff in your house. There's people who stand outside for hours recording noises to use. That level of dedication eventually gets noticed. Number 6. Participate in beat battles. Getting involved with the lo-fi hip-hop community is a great way to develop your talents. A lot of people are interested in starting their own music creation. One way communities facilitate this is by hosting beat battles. Beat battles are, as the name suggests, a battle of beats. Often you are challenged with using one sample, and in some rulings, you can add other instruments. Doing this will definitely put you out there, but it also pushes you to make music faster. Or, if as a spectator, you get to see how others experiment and develop their music. A great place to get started would be the subreddit r/lo-fi hip-hop. Number 5. Ask for feedback. Most lo-fi hip-hop communities also serve as great sources of feedback. Feedback gives you the opportunity to identify what's good about your music so far, and what can be improved. Even better, doing this often also serves as an early way of networking. Posting your music to be listened to for feedback while offering the same to others establishes rapport with other beatmakers that can turn into collaborations later. A lot of communities contain people just starting, mildly successful lo-fi beatmakers, and even some of the most known and well-established. BSDU and Bastard come to mind. Number 4. Network for resources. I hope you get it by now. Being part of the lo-fi hip-hop community opens a lot of doors for you. The greatest part of being part of the subreddit or Discord is the wide access of resources available to you. From drum kits to PDFs on music theory, YouTube tutorials, samples, you name it. If you can't find it and need it, there's a chance someone has been there, knows exactly what you're talking about, and can get it for you. Or maybe there's an alternative. Either way, you're bound to get a satisfying answer from someone with experience. Number 3, use plugins and VSTs to enhance your track. Plugins are what allow you to add functionality to your DAW. They are usually things like equalizers, compressors, even synthesizers, and any virtual emulation of something real. VSTs are a type of plugin that can be used across many different programs. The same VST you used for a track in FL Studio could be imported into Logic or Ableton. These tools will help you add the more common elements of lo-fi, such as bit crushing or distortion. The plugin Effector is a great place to start. Number 2, learn music theory. It is entirely possible for you to be successful without ever knowing music theory. However, the reality is, most of you already know parts of it. Being able to tap along to your favorite song? That's rhythm. Those chords that sound absolutely perfect? That's melody and harmony. The singer whose voice cracked on television? Pitch. Knowing these elements is only half the battle. Music theory incorporates a host of other elements, such as chords, scales, and even timbre, the phenomenon that lets you distinguish two different instruments playing at once. Best of all, learning music theory truly unlocks your creative limits. You could make a song around any chord, any sound, anything. Number 1, practice, practice, practice. As the age-old adage says, practice makes perfect. There is the possibility that you blow up overnight off of your first lo-fi song. Chances are, unless you've been involved in music production for maybe 10 years prior, it ain't happening. That doesn't mean it can't or won't happen if you use every chance you get to hone your skills. If you liked our video, be sure to click like and subscribe for more HowExpert Top 10 videos for all topics from A to Z in the future. Also, let us know what other topics you want us to do a HowExpert Top 10 video in the future in the comments below. Thank you, have an amazing day, and take care. HowExpert publishes quick, how-to guides on all topics from A to Z by everyday experts. Visit howexpert.com to learn more.